Good morning and welcome to Valley Views. I'm your host, Glenn Edison. We're certainly glad to have you, and we're thankful for our sponsor, BTC Fiber. So you'll be able to see our interview on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as BTC Fiber Cable Channel 18. So go there and watch our interview. And today we have with us Sergeant Troy Williams, the local recruiter for the Dunlap National Guard Unit. Actually, it's not just the Dunlap National Guard Unit. It covers that whole area, doesn't it, Troy?
It does. Cover Grundy County, South Pittsburgh, Whitwell High School, Marion County, and Sequatchie Valley High School.
Okay, so you cover quite a bit of area. I guess I want to get into first, how long have you been in the Guard and what got you in the Guard?
I joined the Guard in March 20th of 2000. I joined because I was going to college and I needed some way to pay for my education. And I've been in for 21 years.
21 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah. Well, excuse me. And talking about paying for your education, maybe you want to elaborate on that as far as someone who wants to get into the Guard.
So the Guard offering now to pay for 100% of your college and your education. That pay for 100% Strong Act. We have that. We have the different kinds of benefits. We have a bonus of $12,500, which is also to the individual. The individual can be 17 years old, also be a junior in high school, but we will pay for all your college and give you some pocket change.
Well, that's good. And as far as the Guard, it's I know from time to time they get called up in active duty, but for just regular Guard, not the active, y'all meet 2 days a month, is that correct?
We meet 1 week in a month and 2 weeks out of summer. We do different training depending on your job you have in the service, in the military. It depends on what kind of training you do. Down here in Dunlap, there's a variety of different jobs, and that the soldiers will come in and do their job. They'll practice doing their job. And then they go leave for 2 weeks in the summer, and then they go actually perform their duty, what they would do.
So actually joining the Guard is a good way to get training for a job that you may want to do anyway.
That's correct. So for me, when I chose my job back in 2000, I chose a multiple launch rocket system. It's actually in Chattanooga, and the reason I chose that job is because it had different areas of avenues that I could use for my civilian job skills. So it's a missile. It also has electronics and pneumatics and all that good stuff on it, mechanical, and I could use that and go use it in a different civilian world if I didn't put on the uniform every day.
Right.
But that's what law people do, is choose a job that would help them as civilian, and you can actually roll over some of your jobs for the military. You can actually roll over into the civilian attire.
In other words, the training you get in the military, you won't necessarily have to go through more training or the same training.
Yeah, some of that they allow you to do.
Well, that's good for students, because I know when you get out of high school, a lot of times you don't know what you want to do. You don't know if you want to go to college or you just want to go to work, or you're not sure what you want to do. I mean, you're 17, 18 years
uncertain.
old. Yeah, you're uncertain. And this would give you a time to make you a little money and work on a skill, and you don't necessarily have to take that skill, but you could at least learn that skill, and that would give you something to do.
And like I said, that's what I did. And once you get in there, once you get in the unit like I did, then I went in and I did MPs, which is military police. I did it for a year or two and got my feet wet on that in case I wanted to go in security, or because I was actually looking to go be a security officer at TVA, and I was going to use that to transfer over. So there's options and different ways to do it. So it's a good thing.
So actually, really, by being in the Guard, it gives you it opens up more opportunities.
A lot of opportunities.
So that way you don't have to worry about getting accepted into a union or like electrical union or plumbers union where
you can go in there with your certificates and say, hey, I got this, and they'll tell you yes or no.
And also by being a veteran, which National Guard makes you a veteran, that gives you more opportunities as well, right?
That's correct.
I mean, by doing that, it takes a special person that wants to give service to their country, and sometimes we don't give the veterans enough credit, and that's something we need to look at. Well, as you mentioned, what's the local guard unit down here? You said it's part of the arm. What unit? You told me.
The unit down here in Dunlap is part of the 278th, and 278th in the state of Tennessee is it is the largest guard unit in the state of Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
Not just here in Dunlap, but that includes the whole state from Memphis to Bristol, Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
So there's different units across the whole county. The whole state. The whole state, that the different parts of the unit. For instance, like you have one here and you have up in Mont Eagle. So Mont Eagle is part of that 278. So there's different units apart.
So
like in Cleveland, you have a military police unit. So that's a different unit, but you have 278th all around. Chattanooga is the 181. 230th is in Chattanooga. Out toward Memphis, you have like the MPs out that way. Lexington, you have MPs. But here in Dunlap and here in Mont Eagle, where I'm recruiting career counselor, it's part of the 278th, which is Armored Cavalry.
All right. Excuse me. Pollen's still bothering me.
That's okay.
Now, as far as recruiting, how often do you get into the schools?
I try to visit my schools at least once a week. I have 6 different schools. From, like I said before, and I'll say them again, Richard Harding, South Pittsburgh, Marion County, Whitwell, Sequatchie County, and Grundy County. So I try to get in, since I have 6 schools and there's only 5 days a week, I can't get to them all in 1 week. So especially when I'm interviewing and I'm out in public. I try to get to them as often as I can. The doors are starting to open up for us to allow to get in there. But I try to get to them at least once or twice a week and say, hey, how y'all doing? Walk in, do lunchroom displays, talk to the guidance counselors, and hand out stuff if they need it, pencils, pens, and all that good stuff. So,
well, and I guess you mentioned COVID. I guess that kind of put a strain on recruiting and everything, huh?
Yeah, slowed everything down.
And so you probably didn't gain.
We weren't allowed in any schools.
So they had to come to you if they wanted something from you then. Wow, that's kind of tough on you guys.
Or found us on Facebook or found me on Instagram and would ask me questions or follow me, or then I would try to meet them and go from there.
Well, do you do any type of recognition, like when they're, I guess when they graduate or something from the high school? Do you do any kind of recognition as far as them saying they're a guard member?
Actually, we do. I just enlisted a young man at Sequatchie County, and when he graduates, when he goes to basic training this summer, he's a junior in high school. When he goes to basic training this summer, but when he graduates next year, we will actually have an announcement and give him an award saying that he actually is a soldier and he completed his training, and there will be something that Miss Boynton does, and we'll talk all that through with her to recognize that he is a National Guard soldier.
Oh, well, good.
Here in the Valley.
Well, good. That's good to know. And I know there's a history with our guard unit here. You know, they were first in Iraq, I think, when they were civil engineers, and you know, it was a large group then, and of course it's changed over the years from engineers to
tanks and everything else. There's a bunch of them down there.
Does the guard do that from time to time? Do they change, rotate things, or how does that? Sometimes
not. If it all depends on what they want to do.
Yeah. Well, I guess a lot of times it depends on needs as well, and what they need. So, well, I know this guard unit when it first started met in an old car dealership that was north of town here.
And they actually had a guard unit in South Pittsburgh,
Uh-huh.
which was part of the one in Chattanooga.
Uh-huh.
The one in South Pittsburgh I was attached to a long time ago,
Oh, really?
like 2001 maybe.
Yeah.
I was attached to the one in South Pittsburgh. It was an A battery from the one at one.
Uh-huh.
But here in Dunlap, the one in Dunlap, you have the soldiers from all over the different areas. So
And do you have them other than just from the surrounding area? Do you have them from other areas as well?
soldier wise, when they come to the one in Dunlap, they're from all over the state.
Oh, okay.
And that's just what we do. As soldiers, we're sworn to protect our state and our country. So we'll come in to our unit that we're attached to here in Dunlap. Here at this local unit, we only have a handful of soldiers that are actually from the valley,
Uh-huh.
and we would like to change that.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We would like to get more people from this valley that know the history of this good valley, and bring some soldiers to this unit here, and also Mont Eagle, and help put some locals in the units here in town.
Well, that would really be good, because I know it's I know people probably sometimes are afraid they're going to go to war, you know, and that keeps some people out, I'm sure. But it's not. Chances are for a guard unit to necessarily go to war, that's going to be more of a rare thing than.
The way the country's going now, it's up and down. To say not going, it's just part of what we signed up to do.
Right.
And if we need to, we do. That's part of what we put the uniform on and we swore to protect.
Well, you know that ahead of time.
Right.
You know that's always a possibility.
That's always a possibility.
Well, I know. Speaking of that, you were involved in 9/11, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had to go to Memphis, was it?
I actually, I was in college. I'll tell you the story. I was in college and my mom got the phone call of September 11th, and then they called the school and got me out. September 11th happened, and I went to Memphis and I worked the airports there, and then I came back this way and worked the airport doing security stuff for the airport right after September 11th
Well,
across the state.
and that was a scary time because no one knew really what was going on.
It was a different time.
Yeah, yeah, and no one knew who the enemy was and where they were coming from or where they'd be
Yeah.
next.
Very different.
And so it put everybody on alert, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And what about does the local guard, do they get involved in like local community events or things like that? Is that
I do. We do a lot of different things. I'm the recruiter and career counselor here in this valley, so I am on the streets at least 6 days a week, possibly 7 if you see me at church
Yeah.
or you see me eating somewhere. But I do a lot of the local events. We were down here cleaning up the creek. We were involved in that. We were doing the parades. We're doing all sorts of stuff to make sure that everybody knows we're here. And we're here to help protect and serve and be friendly, and just we're part of the valley, and we want everybody to understand that. But we do a lot of different events. We help out. We do school events. We talk. We go in and meet the veterans. We do all different programs that we can do.
do you get support from the local veterans, so they every now and then drop in, or?
Yes, some will drop in. Some will call us up to go talk.
Yeah.
And just go in and talk and tell them what we do, how long we've been in, what kind of job we've done in the military.
Uh-huh.
So we've done that too.
Well, that's good to have that relationship too, because you can always learn from the fellows who've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that we have a lot of good men who are local veterans, and they fought in some pretty rough wars, a lot of them. And so
And it's a good history lesson.
yes, it really is. And you know, I like to listen to them because you can learn. You learn when you listen instead of always talking. Now you talked about how many members you have down here locally. I know you said you didn't have many from the Valley area.
I don't know the actual number. I'm gonna give you kind of like a rough 60 to 75, 80, maybe. Now, of course, that might, I don't remember because I'm not in that area to know the numbers.
Right.
But local, I would say there's probably only 10, 11, 12 members, maybe, that are here locally at this unit in Dunlap. And there's 60, 70, 80 soldiers down there on drill weekend.
Well, how can anyone local, and it doesn't just have to be a high school student, is there an age limit for to join the Guard?
So 17 to 35, and of course you got waivers and all this other stuff, but 17 to 35 is the general area. You can join. If you're in 17, you have to have a parental consent. You also can be a junior in high school. So a junior in high school can actually enlist.
Well, that's
And a
good.
junior. And for the moms and dads and all the parents out there, as long as they sign, but then they're getting their 6-year contract out, junior year, senior year, and then they go 4 years of college.
Right.
But if he's a young man and he's 22 and he's working at the dealership doing mechanics and he wants to go get a mechanic thing from us and be certified, he can join. Of course, you have to make sure you have the proper stuff and we'll
Right.
take care of, make sure everything's good.
Well, now, how can people get in contact with you if they need to get in touch with you about enlisting?
So, my stuff should be posted all over the valley. I believe I put up probably, I think there's over 5,000 different pens, pencils, and I know there's 10,000 business cards we put out. But my phone number is 423-430-7070. And you can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Sergeant Troy Williams. That is SGTTROYWILLIAMS.
Oh, okay.
And you can follow me. If you can't, you can go down to the armory, and my information is posted on the door.
Okay.
So if you can come down to the armories, and my information is on the outside of the door, and you can call me. If not, my government card is down there, and it's got stickers all over it with my phone number and all my information on it.
Well, now, are there any, I guess, in their qualifications, are there things that would kick someone out that couldn't qualify, as or like, I guess, medical and?
So there's different. Every person's different. So, like, there's disqualifiers and different medical for somebody. I don't really want to get in all the medical
Right, yeah.
because it's personal stuff. But there's different things that can kick somebody out, and then there's stuff that we can get waivers and say, hey, this person has this. Is there a way he can get in the service? And so we have to go that way with that route, or we'll say, for instance, like asthma is a disqualifier. You know, asthma, nothing we could do.
Right.
So there's different qualifications, but we have to follow the guidelines, and of course we're going to follow the guidelines and do the right thing.
Right. You wouldn't
so-
want someone falling out on you.
Mm-mm. And I don't want that on me
No.
because I have 4 kids myself, and I wouldn't want somebody to do it to them.
No, and but I guess for the most part, most everybody could just go down, either apply or get in
If they get in contact with me,
and
I'll go over what I do is when you contact me, I do your name and your age, your height, weight, even that matters.
right.
I do your height and weight, and we do over law violations. We do a simple, what we call an Apple MD form. We do go through the whole checklist, and if there's anything on there that I like, okay, well, you just said you had some kind of asthma condition. You know, give me a little bit more what that is, or you had a break. Let's talk about the break in your hand.
Yeah.
You have any pins, screws, and all that stuff. So then I'll go in more detail when he comes see me. But don't hesitate to call and at least contact, and let's go over and see what we can do.
Well, I know when I taught at Chattanooga State, there were several. I had several students who were guard students, and and they really enjoyed it. Matter of fact, I think one of them was actually over here at this unit. So I found that out. But they were always good students because they enjoyed it, because they were getting their education, and that was
Get
helping
money in
them.
their pocket.
Yeah. And I think that's a good key for students is if you want your education, because education is not cheap, and in this way you can get your education paid for. And you mentioned now it's not just, it used to be just public school, like universities, but now it's open.
It's also for private schools too. And it's based off of Knoxville, University of Tennessee, Knoxville, tuition. But like my boss he goes to Bryan College, and so he's having the Tennessee Army National Guard paying for his college at Bryan College. We have students go to Lee University, which is a private Christian school in Cleveland, and they're getting their education paid for. So,
well, listen, I'm telling you, it wasn't too long ago that we finally paid off our loans, and
we also just to tell you this, we also, if there's somebody out there that needs a loan repayment program, we actually will pay a student loan repayment program.
Oh, really?
There's options like that available too. So if you have somebody that's already been through school and they're trying to pay their education off by working like 3 or 4 jobs, we actually will help them pay off their student loan.
Well, that's neat. That's a good program. So you really can't fail by joining the Guard. There's too many opportunities.
There's a lot of opportunities.
Well, that's a good thing too, because like I mentioned earlier, when you're 17, 18 years old, you don't necessarily know what you really want to do in life, and this gives you an opportunity. It gives you more of it helps you mentally, it helps you physically, and it gives you discipline, because there's a lot of discipline in this, and so that helps you actually straighten up and become a better person.
Yes. The discipline is very needed, and it's not as tough as it should be. When I went through, it was a lot different compared to what it is now. But you can handle it. I played sports in school, so it wasn't that bad when I went through in 2000. 21 years later, I think I can still do it mentally.
Yeah.
Because they train you that mentally tough. But it's a good thing, and the benefits are great, and the reward is even better.
Right, because you've helped out not only your community, but you've helped out your country as well.
Yeah.
Well, Troy, is there anything else you'd like to mention that we didn't bring up?
If you have any questions, call me. If you have any questions, follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Like I said, we actually do have a recruiting office downtown, or down in Dunlap, next to high school, the Armory. It looks, because all the vehicles are gone right now all over the country, but I'm there 24/7 almost. If you have any questions, just call, stop by and see me.
All right, give them that number again.
423-430-7070. Stop by, have water, you can come get some coffee, and we'll just sit down and talk.
All right. Well, Troy, we appreciate you being with us today, and thank you very much for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And folks, don't forget, BTC Fiber YouTube page, like it and subscribe to our YouTube page, as well as you'll be able to see this interview on cable channel 18 on BTC Fiber Cable. Thank you. Hey everybody, this is Glenn Edison from Valley Views. We appreciate you watching our shows, and we would like for you to like, share, and follow us on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe to our YouTube page.
Brought to you by Bledsoe Telephone Cooperative, your full-service telecommunications provider right here in the Sequatchie Valley.